Hello, lovelies. Happy May. First of all, how cool is my shirt? Love your Mother Earth. Second of all, I'm using a filter because my face is just not having it, dark circles, and I don't feel like putting on makeup. So today is 18 months without weed, cannabis, THC. And for me, that is a huge deal that I never, ever thought I would get to. And it's important to talk about. It's Mental Health Month. Addiction is a part of mental health. And it's such a huge accomplishment for me. Over about 10 years, maybe even longer, because I smoked weed for the first time in college and kind of on and off after that. But for about a 10-year period, I was getting high like almost every day, at least once every 3 or 4 days, at least. And initially it was like, oh, we'll do it for fun, whatever, it's fun, we're going to a concert or we're going to do something fun or we're going to watch like, a silly movie or, we're just hanging out. And I never was really much of a drinker, so I always chose to smoke weed instead. Then, before I got treatment for my bipolar disorder, I was using it to kind of cope with the highs and the lows and try to give myself some balance. And it kind of worked at first, but then after a while it wasn't. I just was like really frustrated. And then once I started my medication, cannabis and alcohol don't mix well with mood stabilizers or depression. It makes you really tired. It just it affects the brain. So when I would get high, I would like shoot up to that like super paranoid place, and then it'd take a while for me to come down. And then over time, like over the last few years, some in Atlanta, especially when I was in an abusive relationship and I was trying to deal with that. And also he was like a massive pothead. But then I got bronchitis twice and I had started smoking cigarettes again. And so that forced me to quit. And then I couldn't smoke weed for a while, but then I was using tinctures. And it just became something where I realized, okay, this is not something that I can just put down. Like if you said to me like, hey, could you not smoke for like a month? I would be like, I don't know. And that's when you have a problem. If I ask you the question like, well, can you just not do that for a month? Then that means you're addicted. Like right now, I'm addicted to coffee. I don't know if I could get off of caffeine for a month. It's another huge thing. And it's a socially acceptable drug. Now, cannabis has become a more socially acceptable drug. Not a bad thing. It's not dangerous to the point where you can, die from it or overdose. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've definitely driven high. I've never driven drunk as far as I can remember. I was always like super scared of getting a DUI. And I would be paranoid when I was driving high, and I'd only do it when I absolutely had to. Not something I'm proud of and something I do not recommend doing. But in general, you can function better depending on how much you've had, depending on the person. Anyway, it's become a more socially acceptable drug, and so more people are using it, and we have this mindset of like, oh, it's no big deal, it's just weed, like, oh, I'm just, getting stoned, no big deal, whatever. But yet, it's a drug, and it actually affects our mental cognition, and it is a whatever it's called. I want to say psychotropic. I don't know if that's right. But it affects our brain and it affects the way that we function. So it is a drug, and you can be addicted to a drug. Maybe not physiologically from what I've read and things like that, but from a mental standpoint of having something that is a way to numb and is a way to like check out of reality, cannabis is one of those options. So for me, I realized over time that it was something that I was using to just like not want to feel my feelings, to just check out of like my frustrations instead of actually doing something about it, instead of really looking at, wow, my life isn't the way I wanted to. Like I'm living at home with my dad. I'm not able to get a promotion at my job, even though I keep trying. The money's not enough. Like I'm in this horrible relationship. Instead of really sitting down and feeling those feelings, and, tapping would have been great in those moments, though I've used it over the years, I didn't want to let go. And I kept rationalizing with myself, oh, it's just weed. Oh, it's just weed. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. And yet I was doing it almost every single day. And then, working at Apple, like, tons of hippies, tons of potheads, like, it's no big deal, it's no big deal, like, let's just go get high. And so I rationalized it, and I didn't want to address that it was a problem for me and that it was something that I couldn't just put down. And then it got to a point where, like 3 years ago when I was in Colorado and I was living alone and I was working at a restaurant and I just kind of hit another rock bottom, I realized that like I think about it all day. Like I'm at my job, I just want to go home and get high. I just want to like escape this life that has just happened where I don't feel like I'm consciously creating. And so then I realized, okay, this is a problem. I tried to quit so many times. My friend Ricky will tell you, she was there on the other end. Like, I tried so many times. And thankfully, she had gotten sober off of her own stuff. So she was really supportive, because a lot of friends are like, oh, it's just weed, like, no big deal. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is a problem and I need to let this go. Like, please support that, you know? And like if I said to somebody today, oh, I want to stop drinking coffee. Oh, it's, you know, it's just have one cup, you know, it's like, okay. So having her support was amazing, and that really, really helped me. But it was so hard to let go. Oh my God. I tried, and I would get like a week, and then I would just cave. And then I would like rationalize like, oh, well, I need to smoke the rest of what I have and then I'll quit, right? We always say that to ourselves. Oh, and then it's like next thing you know, you're buying like another amount. And I would buy like a joint, and then I would just smoke like a little bit here and there. And because of my medication, like a little bit would get me really high. So it just rationalizing. Then I think I made it like 3 weeks, and it was like, oh, great. And then I just was like, just back to it again, because you go without, and then after a while you really crave it. And then I just fell into the hole again. So finally I was like, you know what? This is a problem. I'm not going to be able to change the circumstances of my life if I'm spending all of my spare time being stoned, because that's what would happen. I'd get home from my job at the restaurant, which I hated, surrounded by a bunch of idiots. Sorry, but not sorry. And I would smoke and watch a movie, and then next thing you know, it's time to go to bed and get up and do it all over again. So all this time was being wasted. I'm like 30 something, and I'm like, what am I doing? So I started tapping on it. And then I started the 30-day EFT challenge, which you'll find in my IGTV series. I did it December of 2019. Yeah. And that really helped me, once I had been several months in, to like process and work through all of those cravings that kept coming up, because I was tapping on it a lot. I was in the Reddit forum for quitting weed, which was so helpful, because you're in a community of people who are also letting go of something that, you know, a lot of other people rationalize and think it's normal. And so that really helped me. And then I had my friend who I would text anytime I was craving. I would text, she would remind me to tap, or I would journal about it. So having that support system really helped me. And then when I did the tapping challenge, I was like really struggling. It was like after several months, it was coming up like, oh my God, I just want to get high. I don't want to deal with this shit, da 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 da. Especially because my birthday and Christmas was a really hard time back then, because I wasn't around my family. So that really helped for me to work on, and that helped for me to keep tapping every day. If you go back to my IGTV series, I have a video on cravings for weed and tapping that out to not smoke. So it's such a great video. And in that moment, I was like, I just want to get high. I just want to get high. And I like really released it by the end of that healing. Super good. If this is something that you struggle with, please go watch that. It's in my IGTV. You'll see the series 30-day tapping challenge, December tapping challenge, and it's in there. Or scroll down on my feed, you'll be able to read it. So my life has been so amazing since then. So I don't really drink. Alcohol just doesn't, I always feel like shit the next day. So it's like, I don't really like it. But cannabis was like, yes, I love this. 18 months later, I cannot believe it. I mean, when I was struggling and I was texting my friend, like, I just can't, I don't know if I'm going to make this. It was like, I never thought I would get to this point, and I never thought I would get to this point where, like, I don't crave it anymore. The only time I crave it is, like, once a month, maybe once every 3 months, when I'm, like, really stressed out and I just want to, like, feel that just, like, relaxation feeling. But, you know, there's so many other ways to get there, like EFT or meditation or, like, reading a good book or just, like, dealing with my anxiety, because I used to use it a lot as an anti-anxiety. I know if you are watching this video and you have gone this far and you smoke weed, I guarantee you are using it as an anti-anxiety. I guarantee. And my question to you is, how much time is being wasted from you getting high and being stoned when you could use that time after, like, letting go of your anxiety with a 5-minute healing of EFT and have all that time to manifest the life you freaking want? What would that look like? So in the last 18 months, I have upgraded my life. I am in this beautiful apartment that is fully furnished with like the most amazing space that I absolutely love. One bedroom that I can afford on my own. I am single. I am happy. I am so comfortable with who I am. I've come out. I have a wonderful relationship with my family. I'm healthy. I'm still working through some things, but like, oh my gosh, I've started my business again. I'm actually helping people. I have time to make my dreams come true. And that is what makes this so worth it. It makes it so worth it. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not thinking about, oh, I want to get high. I'm thinking like, okay, what are the things that I want to do today? Oh, at the end of the day, I want to relax. So what are the things I want to do? Do I want to take a hot bath? Do I want to pick a movie I want to look at? Do I want to meet up with somebody? Do I want to, go see my parents? Do I want to do some kind of craft? Like, what is it that will make me feel better and make me want to just look forward to the end of the day? And then I'm sleeping better. I mean, insomnia up and down, right? But I was not sleeping well when I was smoking weed. Oh my gosh. So 18 months, I'm so proud of myself. Yes. And listen, like, if you're thinking about this, like, you can totally let this go. Please use EFT. There's a video on my IGTV. Hey, that rhymes. And just because it's a socially acceptable drug doesn't mean that it's right for everyone. And it can be an addiction and you can be free from it. And there are other options to deal with your anxiety and your depression and your frustrations and your stress besides weed, besides alcohol, besides drugs, besides numbing out. It's called EFT healing, journaling, meditation, all of these things. But when you're letting go of that energy that's stuck in your body, when you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, when you're coming back to a place of peace, oh man, you are free. And don't you want to be free? And don't you want to be a manifesting badass? I think so. Duh. So go watch my IGTV. Thank you for watching. Congratulate me. Woo woo. It's going to be fun when I make it to 2 years. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great day.